In today's Leeds news, Joseph on Bamford support, Gruev injury update, Gnonto changes agent, Stoke fans banned for tragedy chanting, and Archie has European interest. Morning folks, Jay here on the 3rd of April, back in the normal location, back in my normal office. Thanks for persevering with Jerry in jail yesterday, the weird glow I had on my work laptop, but we're back to normal. Crack on with this and we'll get into it. There's a bit of stuff to go around today, but it is Wednesday, so the one a week. If you like the channel, if you want to help support the channel and help it to grow, you can do so by pressing the subscribe button. I think about 40% of normal viewers aren't subscribed currently, so if you want a daily update, you can do that. Also, a couple of people telling me that they're not getting updates of when videos have been uploaded despite being subscribed. If you want to get updates and guarantee an update, there's a little bell notification you can press as well, and that will update you and let you know anytime a new video goes live, so you can check that out if you want it. Right, let's crack on and get into the news, and we'll start off with Theo Joseph's support from Patrick Bamford, and the competition for the Leeds United number 9 spot might be the hot topic of conversation amongst Leeds United fans, but it appears that all those in contention for that spot behind the scenes are being very supportive of each other. Theo Joseph, speaking to the official Leeds United podcast, has spoken of his gratitude to Patrick Bamford for advice that he has been giving to him. Joseph commented that Bamford had given him advice before the Plymouth game and the Chelsea match, and he said that gave him the confidence and rhythm to go and perform in those matches. He also went on to say that he's been very helpful a lot to him behind the scenes and over the course of this season, but he went on then also to praise Junior Firpo and Liam Cooper, who have a long tenure in the game, and said that the advice that they've given him has played a huge factor in the confidence that he had. Both players have just advised Joseph to go and play and do what he does in training on the pitch, and Joseph has taken that and ran with it. Joseph may well be the long-term successor to Patrick Bamford, but it doesn't appear that there's any animosity between any of the people fighting for that number 9 spot, and in fact it's great to see how much support there is behind the scenes with this current group of Leeds United players as we head towards the run-in for hopefully what will be a Premier League return for Leeds United. And it's great to see an experienced player like Liam Cooper, Junior Firpo and Pat Bamford giving younger players advice and helping them along rather than trying to hog the limelight and the spot themselves. So it's really good to see that's the way a senior pro should behave, and it's great to hear that. Moving on, let's talk about some injury updates heading into the weekend's game. And Gruev's absence from the Leeds United midfield is becoming more and more apparent in recent weeks. Leeds hadn't conceded a goal from open play since the turn of the year. That was put down in large parts to Gruev coming into the side, as well as Joe Rodon and Ethan Ampadu's centre-back partnerships. Since Gruev's injury, though, Leeds have now conceded 3 goals in the last 2 games from open play, and the absence of a out-and-out central defensive midfielder and the balance that you get from that has become more apparent in the last couple of games. Now we seem to have an update coming from Leeds Live, who reckon that there is a very strong chance that Gruev will be back in contention for Daniel Farke's squad heading into the weekend's league game. Gruev has become a vital part of that Leeds United midfield. The balance that he gives him, the out-and-out sitting player that allows Glenn Kamara to be more expansive, to get forward and support more. We've seen with Archie and Kamara, it was fine against Hull, but there was very much gaps there, especially with the Hull goal. You can see how much the Leeds midfield backed off the early stages of that move before the ball went out to the left hand side and then was cut back in for Carvalho's goal. So getting Gruev back in there and an out and out defensive midfielder to give Leeds that balance back in the midfield will be hugely important to help Leeds in the run in for the remainder of this season. It'll be a massive boost, and fingers crossed he's back in contention and back in the starting 11 for the game. It also helps Leeds out with the right back situation. If Sam Byram does have a knock, does a bit of an injury, Conor Roberts out injured as well, it means that Leeds can put Archie Gray back into the right back position, Gruev comes back into the midfield, and we're back to that steady looking defensive unit that we've had in recent months. Moving on, let's talk about Willie Gnonto's situation and early season saga surrounding Willie Gnonto and his refusal to play in the games against Birmingham. Did an awful lot to upset the apple cart for Leeds in the early part of the year. There was a lot of outcry about the situation. Willie Gnonto did apologise to Daniel Farke and to the Leeds fans and was welcomed back into the fray with Leeds, but there were loud calls for him to remove his agent Claudio Vigorelli, who also pulled a similar tactic with another client, Nicolo Zaniolo, during his time at Roma, where he advised both players to go on strike in order to force a move away from the club. We now have an update on on that situation. Reports in Italy, along with a statement from Vigorelli himself, seem to confirm that Willy Gnonto has now in fact moved away from Vigorelli's agency and parted ways with the controversial agent. Vigorelli spoke to Gianluca Di Marzio this week and basically said that he expressed his sorrow at the departure of Willy Gnonto from his agency. He said that there was a different point of view between both parties, between Gnonto himself and between the agency, but he wishes Willy Gnonto all the success in the future. Vigorelli went on to say that him and his agency are very proud of the work that they've done with Gnonto up until this point and do wish him all the success in the future. Vigorelli was a constant thorn in the side for Leeds and possibly damaging Willy Gnonto, his own client, by consistently speaking out in the Italian press and trying to force a move for the player as well. Talked consistently about Napoli and clubs in Italy being interested in the player, but the player wanting to play at the highest level and move away. Also spoke about the fact that his Italian future would be damaged by staying at Leeds in the Championship, which hasn't really been the case. He is back in the under-21 squad, but is very much still part of the Italian fold. The situation seems like it'll calm what's going on behind the scenes down. No news on who Gnonto's new agent is, but getting Vigorelli away from him, this controversy surrounding him early in the season, is a big step towards writing the slate for Willy Gnonto moving into the new season. There's also reports behind the scenes that Gnonto and Leeds have agreed terms on a new contract, although it appears that ratification of that contract will depend on where Leeds' final destination ends up at the end of this season. So fingers crossed Leeds, once confirmed, and if they do get back up to the Premier Division, we'll hear news about Gnonto's contract situation being finalised. Moving on to some interesting news, and finally some action being taken against fans for tragedy chanting, and 2 Stoke City supporters have been given a 3-year ban from all English and Welsh grounds after being seen mocking the deaths of Leeds United fans Chris Loftus and Kevin Spate. Mark Turner and Callum Lawton were spotted mocking both deaths in the recent game between Stoke City and Leeds United. The incident took place on March 5th, where the fans were caught on camera mocking the deaths of the 2 Leeds United fans. Turner has been also fined £553 as well as costs and asked to pay a £221 victim surcharge. Turner was fined £120 plus costs and asked to pay a £48 victim surcharge. Also should be pointed out, huge praise to the Hull side management and to the referee during the Leeds United Hull game, who paused play in order for the fans to support and remember Chris and Kevin's passing during the game. A tradition, I hope, is long-standing with the club and moves forward. But fair play to both of them. When the fans turned their back to the game, the match was stopped, and it was great to see the referee applauding as well as the Hull City players and Liam Rossini on the bench as well. So hats off to them for doing that, and fair play to them for doing that. But it's great to see fans that do mock those deaths and feel that that's the right thing to do in football are now finally getting some punishment for a 3-year ban from all English and Welsh grounds, as well as fines and costs as well. So great to see that. And then moving on, some talk around Archie Gray's future again, and this is never going to go away. I'm pretty sure this will continue to go on as long as Archie Gray is a Leeds United player. According to Team Talk, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich both have an interest in bringing Archie Gray to the clubs. Archie has been in fantastic form for Leeds this season, what is his debut year, and it appears that clubs across Europe are now looking at a potential Jude Bellingham-like move to get a young English talent in before they get really expensive, and hope to capitalise on that. Liverpool, Manchester United and Tottenham have all said to be interested in Archie over the course of this season, and according now to HITC Sport, they say that Bayern and Real Madrid representatives attended the Leeds United and Hull game in order to keep track and to monitor Gray's progress. The report claims that both have a long-standing interest in the player. There is no information at this point whether any form of a bid is likely to come in for the player or if they plan on making a move in the summer. Gray himself has made his stance on the situation pretty clear so far this year. He's talked about wanting to have a future at Leeds United. He's happy where he is and has goals that he wants to achieve at Leeds United, the club that he supports himself as a player. It's going to be an interesting one. I think the better Archie gets, the more you're going to hear about this. The longer Leeds spend outside the Premier League, the harder this conversation is going to go. But I think if Leeds can confirm and get a return to the Premier Division next season, a lot of this will start to go away, or at least it puts the conversation in Leeds' hands around the player playing at the top level and Leeds having a player in the Premier Division where they can at least dictate prices, if that ever should come to that. But I don't expect Archie Gray to leave Leeds any time during the next couple of years. I think he's got a long-standing future at Leeds United. As long, we've said before with the young players at Leeds, as long as Leeds can actually match the ambition of these young players, There's no reason why they don't stay with Leeds and carry their futures forward with the club. Folks, that's going to be it for me today. Massive thanks as always to everyone for supporting the channel. I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you then.